satisfied if we die together. Yeah, our climate's fucked, we might as well enjoy the weather. Our time is up, and I'd be satisfied if we die together.
All this talk of greenhouse gases got me taciturn. Let's just stick our tongues out in the poison rain and let the acid burn. And when the earth swings out of orbit, we can spin in circles on the grassy ferns and just pretend to watch the taxes turn. And on the bright side, if the sun explodes before our April break, then we won't have to do our tax returns. Here's the way I see it: if we're gonna die, let's do it on romantic terms. Like, we could linger on the boardwalk, watch tsunamis from the turf shore. I'll go get my board shorts and you can bring your surfboard. Maybe we'll hold hands as we get swallowed into Earth's core. Or we could sing a Christmas carol, like a little chorus choir, by 1,000 Christmas trees lit up from a forest fire, and watch the prancing, dashing comets blitz into the forest pyre. Not the reindeer, but the kind that killed the brontosaurus prior and all its dino peers. And if the ice age hits, then we could be rancheros on the high frontier, Anthropocene pioneers, and melt each other's hearts on thawing glaciers in a cryosphere. The worst part is this wasn't always something that we couldn't stop. Like, we lived through every benchmark. I remember me and you read every update about sea levels on our desktop. So if we can't save us, maybe we could save the future from environmental deadlock. Maybe in an era when we're settled into bedrock, a later civ would dig us out and we'd make headlines. Heck, we might even make a TED Talk, and we could write a note like, don't fuck up your planet, please. Look at how things turned out for humanity. And maybe they would read it. Or maybe they would use our carbon molecules and particles from follicles as fossil fuel. Maybe it's impossible to change things, but we can try them anyway. Be carbon complex renegades and then decay. And I would hold you near as we're infected by the Zika or Ebola scares, get smoldered by a solar flare, or iced out with the polar bears, I promise.
I always knew that we'd be by each other's side forever. Now our time has come, and I'd be satisfied if we died together. Yeah, our climate's fucked, we might as well enjoy the weather. Our time is up, and I'd be satisfied if we died together.
You and I could be capsulated inside a space the size of a minute raisin in quiet and icy stasis. And when the fires slay our cryogenic hideaway, we could try to lie awake and dream about the finer days, before the roads and paths were frozen ashen plains, and the cities turned to itty-bitty rows of crashing planes, cracking pavement due to sad arrangements, broken after stains of blood and decimation, separating bones and mass from brains. When the days of old and past decay and exit through the years, we can lay in fields of shattered glass and question why we're here. If so many left this planet without any second chances, why did we awake one morning to a separate time of cheer? But the queries tend to drift and fade as eeriness can slip away, and hearing me, the loneliness demotes itself to in-your-face awareness of surroundings, like photographs and picture frames. I'm glad to know it's only you and I among the flicking flames. Maybe even time can take a couple minutes off, and we can live forever while the planet is eclipsed in fog. It might boast disaster, dear, but we can sing a different song, and use the White House pillars as a mighty builder's Lincoln logs. Make games of chutes and ladders out of real chutes and ladders in an old apartment complex, like we even knew it mattered. Through the battered, beaten, broken bones and factories and open homes, I'm sure we'd survive enough to see the moons of Saturn. Solving puzzles of the universe from Jupiter to Mars, playing scientists to try and say we flew there in our cars. Like, maybe it's not all bad, this scenic view's bizarre, watching hydrocarbon Neptune snow dissolving from the stars. And I never thought I'd say this, but frankly it's been peaceful to escape from that distasteful state of hate, deceit, and evil. Sure, a planet to ourselves is quite a journey for two people, but the only time I'm happy for is the time I get to see you.
I always knew that we'd be by each other's side forever. Now our time has come, and I'd be satisfied if we died together. Yeah, our climate's fucked, we might as well enjoy the weather. Our time is up, and I'd be satisfied if we died together.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. This amazing stranger from the planet Krypton.
Yo, I'm not your average superhero. I don't wear a cape or tights, and you won't catch me slinging webs through cityscapes. I'm scared of heights. I'm not your textbook superhero. I can't levitate or fly, but if you pass the Sunday crossword, I won't hesitate to try. I'm not the type of vigilante who goes off avenging homicides, more the kind to just correct a comma splice. Constructive criticism, supervillain. Yes, I'm honest when I prompt advice, but even when a novice writes, I always leave my comments nice. Leap buildings in a single bound. Y'all should see the way my fingers race through city these streets are letter keys, whether double or single spaced. Faster than a speeding bullet, if you're talking words per minute. Write so comprehensive, each bullet point holds the world within it. Power like a locomotive, discipline is sage strength. Essays that I write are 20 pages past the page length. Not the man of steel, but when I sit to write, I've got no kryptonite. As long as I've got coffee I can sip tonight. Call me Cyclops, I've got laser vision, page revision. Not a next-gen X-Man, but I'm crazy with the red pen. Mutant when I'm writing, yes my drafts have got evolving genes. Watch me wielding clauses like I'm Wolverine and cause a scene.
I'm not your average superhero, I don't mask my voice like this. Secret identity's dull, I don't see a point in it. I'm not out here to save the world on day-night protocols. I just take my pride in sentence structure, phase right through the walls of text. Polish red a second time, kind of like Professor X, but I read essay lines instead of mines until they're all correct. Triple check the proper punctuation ends it. Perfect verbs are fantastic nouns like Ben Grimm. Spin webs of any size and catch a reader's attention. Nab plagiarists like flies, I write with tingling senses. Swing right overhead with lines of super tensile strength. Fingers type like streaks of light, whether past or present tense. I arrive just in time, type more than Cyborg, not Robin. No red or green underline eyesores. I channel Raven right in style of Edgar Allan Poe. No green eyes but tackle any beast of rhetoric that you know. Yeah, they can call me any hour, but they view it as a lesser power. When my essays get an A on top, like Avengers Tower. In the meantime, I think I'll go into hiding. Reckless vigilante with his helmet on, still writing.
Yo, I'm not too grateful for the governance of present tense. If you claim your facts, then you best back them up with evidence. Next election, I'ma make sure we don't choose a demagogue. I want me a pres who makes decisions through objective thought. And I don't mind the party, whether Democrat or socialist. The perfect candidate for me is stoic and emotionless. So someone build a prototype, run it at a local caucus. 2020, let's elect a robot to the Oval Office. Picture it, a ruling class of technocratic governors, a senate full of cyborgs, and cabinet full of motherboards, gliding through the White House on electromagnet hoverboards. And if they fuck shit up, then we'll just cut the cord. Furthermore, if their parts get damaged, we'll replace them with a blinking screen. That way we could circumvent a Kennedy or Lincoln scene. And every 4 to 8 years we could update with a single chip. The electoral college, there's no need for us to tinker with. If it signal dips, then it could self-repair itself. Like dog, it's got the fucking sum of human knowledge at its fingertips. Fuck a ballot box, there'll be an app that we could vote on. And pick between inaugurating Megatron or Voltron. It never needed sleep so we could have it running full time. An agency of androids, tell me what could go wrong. Look, I've seen the movies, I could tell why you'd be circumspect and try to run convergence tests and get its server circuits checked. But frankly, if you're worried about some sci-fi hazard, all we gotta do is equip it with a Wi-Fi password. If the threat of total holocaust does catch you at a crossroads, I've got it figured out. We'll throw a captcha on the launch codes, secure communications and encrypt classified cyber calls. The only type of wall we'd need to build would be a firewall. And if I recall, in 20 years our jobs will all be automated. So what's wrong with starting by getting robots inaugurated? Like, it'd be awesome. We'd have states run by delegates with silica for skeletons, Blade Runner replicants, and cut out human error. If only we had our country run by power-driven politicians, not the power-hungry ones. We keep it ethical and program them with moral checks. Never need to worry about no Oval Office oral sex. And look, I'm not saying they'd be perfect, they'd be full of bugs, but if things go from push to shove to bullet slugs, we'll pull the plug. And God forbid they gain themselves a sense of social sentience. Without question, they'd be claiming independence out of vengeance. So fine, I'll concede that there's two ways I see the future go, and both of them involve an ascendancy of computer code. The first's a future fate where human folk and robots coexist. The second's a more somber situation where things go amiss. It started innocuous. At first the fleet would cause no harm, holding babies, shaking leaders' hands with bionic arms, pantsuit, synthetic skin. But as we